In the name of Jesus, dear friends, Pastor Taylor here coming to you from Christ Lutheran Church. At Christ Lutheran Church, as with any place where people gather, we have a lost and found. We have a couple of bins filled with actually lost items that haven't been found yet. There are a variety of items, but this is not a plug for you to come and see if any of your lost items can be found in these bins. Because we're not talking about lost items or accessories or water bottles or whatever you might find in a lost and found bin at church. We're talking about people. And in the case of our account today, we're talking about a man named Zacchaeus, who we often think of as being the shorter man who needed to climb a tree to see Jesus. But what we often forget is the reason why he was willing to do that is because he was also a sinful man. He may have been known as the one who was short in stature when compared to other people, other men, but in his view before God, he also had a very small view of himself. No doubt carried a very guilty conscience for the fact that he was a chief tax collector and wealthy at that. And no doubt his wealth came through dishonest gains. He needed Jesus. And that's why, like a little boy, he climbed that fig tree and Jesus noticed him. But more than just noticed him, Jesus said, "I must stay at your house." And even as Jesus is being mocked and ridiculed as going to be a guest of a sinner, that's exactly who Jesus is. And he was going to be a guest of a sinner named Zacchaeus. And Jesus is that for us. For before God, because of our sin, we have also a very small view of ourselves. And for good reason. We've sinned much. We have a guilty conscience because of it. And even as we go out in public and hide much of our sin, what we do at home is quite different. Home is where sin lives too. And by God's grace, Jesus must be the guest of us sinners too. He must go to our homes. And he does, to bring his salvation, to bring his life-saving message of forgiveness every single day. And even right now. And Zacchaeus responded. He responded by giving, and that's the desire of every forgiven heart. It wants to show itself in works. It wants to give. It can't be helped. Jesus, look, Lord, Zacchaeus says, look, Lord, look at what I'm doing. And Jesus is happy, and so he is with us. He is with us when he fills our hearts with his forgiving love. We want to give too. Look, Lord, look at what I'm doing. Look at what I'm giving. And he's happy. He's happy, for he came to get the lost and to find them. A lost sinner like Zacchaeus and lost sinners like you and me. Luke 19, beginning at the first verse. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, "He has gone to be the guest of a sinner." But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount." Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost." The word of the Lord.